You guys are already living in 2030 while we are still processing 2024.
The small card is actually the picture of the person who's actually polished or cut your diamond. We use AI and data analytics to understand what rough and why we should buy.
One business tip.
People want transparent, clear, ethical business.
What percentage of hike in sales we're talking about?
Conversion rate of 55% on first day with a premium more than 10 to 15%. We believe in empowerment of people and the growth of that local community.
How would you implement blockchain with diamonds?
The most cool thing what we're doing with blockchain and data analytics is how we sell the diamonds through AI.
It is all about unlearning and adapting. Would you actually believe if I tell you in 2024 there exists a company who actually tick marks all the points that we read and hear in latest journals and conferences? Today's podcast is really exciting as I sit down with a diamond site holder and a beautiful company who's shaping the future of the industry in a best possible way. They're not just speaking about sustainability, they're also showing it how it's done right. Let's join our hands to welcome very dynamic CEO of Finestar, Nilesh. Hi Nilesh, welcome to the Jewellery Pod.
Thank you, Krishna Raj. It is a pleasure to be here with you in Dubai. And thank you for the kind words that you have to speak about Finestar. And we're very happy to be here. The best part is that, I'm an avid podcast user. And I've been watching a lot of your podcast, and they're very relevant. You've identified the right people to bring in for the right concepts that you need to speak about. And I'm very happy to be here to be giving my some little bit of insights that I have of the industry.
Surely, you're way ahead of times. And when I was reading about your literature of the company, it is something which I was like, wow, it should be out for more people to read. And that very moment, I thought, let me DM Nilesh and get him on the podcast. So Nilesh, I also, like being from the industry, I always tell this and I'm very vocal about this that I get biased sometimes. And but what you and your company is doing is actually way forward. You guys are already living in 2030 while we are still processing 2024. So let's begin with about your early days in the industry. And then I have certain things that I'm going to drill you well. So let's get this started.
Great. Go ahead. So first thing first, a little bit of background about me is that I'm actually not from the industry. I started off, I'm an engineer and an MBA from my background, after which I got picked up from my college campus to go join a company called Mindshare. So Mindshare is the biggest media agency, which is something not really known to our industry. They're a marketing agency and a advertising agency, which is a group of called WPP. I was a part with them for a long period of time. And all my learnings in terms of marketing and in terms of how advertising has to be done, how you put brands into the right positioning and how you can showcase your company in a better light is something that we actually understood of. When I was there, I was specialized in the digital business, and this was about in the year of 2005, 2006, which was way, way ahead of, we're talking about, say, 15 years back,
yeah,
16, 15, more than 15 years actually. And those times, we did some really cool stuff for a lot of brands. I used to handle accounts like Kellogg's, HSBC, Aditya Birla Group, Unilever, and they had some really cool products. And I got a lot to do, play around with a lot of digital aspects with them. While doing so, we did things that were way before time. We did augmented reality, we did virtual reality, we were doing viral video concepts, which was something which we actually incorporated for the brands who can connect with the brand and the product. And somehow we did some good work, and we won some Goa Fest and MVs and IDMA awards for those cool stuff that we did, which was quite innovative. So yeah, so it's good fun. And after that, obviously the family business calling comes. So I actually, after my stint in Mindshare, I joined my family business, The first thing that I picked up as a project was a jewelry manufacturing brand that I created of mine called Vara Jewels. There, what we were doing is basically we were catering to retailers in the GCC market, India market. And what we were doing is we were making customized jewelry for all these brands. We were doing it for Kalyan Jewelers, Bhima Jewelers, PC Jewelers, Tanishq, everybody. I was working with most of the brands. And after that great stint of jewelry, I wanted to get into the core family business, which was actually getting into the diamond side of the business. A little bit of understanding what Finestar was. So Finestar has been in the industry for about 40 years. We were actually typically wholesalers. What we used to do is we used to buy from all manufacturing site holders which were there in Mumbai and in Surat. And then from all the manufacturing we did, we actually set up our different distribution offices, predominantly in New York, Tokyo, Antwerp, Hong Kong, and obviously New York and LA together, and Dubai, obviously. So all these places where we had our offices, whatever we used to buy, we used to stock them according to the market's requirement in those locations. And from there, we used to supply or service our retailer clientele across the globe. So this is what we actually did. But then as a family, we realized that, there will be a time that, sourcing actual diamonds from the market would always not help you take our brand and create a value addition to the business. So what we did was we actually started manufacturing, and we started in 2008 during the Lehman Brothers crash. So not the right time to actually enter into the industry, but we did so. And when we did so, we learned the hard ways. Once we were little in place and created a very strong foundation of what Finestar wanted to be at, I joined the side of business in 2014. And then from there onwards, we've been trying to do the right things, combining with, we have our core values, which we are very strong at, which the family really wanted to take up, which was making sure was provenance, traceability, people, being ethical, cutting the right cuts, that's refined cuts, sustainability, and the impact of the people who work with you. So all these main values we wanted to strengthen at every aspect, and taking those aspects into the business, we grew our business slowly, and we became De Beers site holder in 2016-17. And today we have 3 different sites in 3 different locations, in Botswana, Namibia, and in Surat, in India typically. So that being said, and obviously working with also other mining companies like Rio Tinto, Dominion now, which is called Burgundy, and other mostly all mining companies that we know of.
I'm so envious of your resume right now. Picking up some moments from your leaving your media journey and joining industry. What was your first thought? Be honest, be very honest, because it's a paradigm shift. I think paradigm shift is understatement. So what was your first? I know it was a family business. You know inside out what goes into all this. And it's not about which industry is good, which industry is bad. It's about what did you find an urgent need to bring in some kind of changes when you joined your business?
So when I got into the business, when everyone in the family convinced me that, this is something what you need to be at, I took my time. And when I finally decided, let's go. So one of the main things that I was told is that give it a try for 6 months. Doesn't work, you obviously have your other things to do, so you can go back to where you were. And you being young, you don't want to just be a corporate person. You want to obviously do a little bit of your own entrepreneurial aspect of your body. It says just give it a try. And that's what said, let's go into it.
That's Asian counseling.
Yes,
that's
very true.
That's how your parents get into the trap.
Yes, very true. And it was actually a trap. I did get into it. And then 6 months down the line, you're so involved in the business that you can't think of, even if you want to, you would not. and then slowly you start enjoying it. And when you start enjoying it, then it becomes a part of you, and you breathe, sleep, drink diamonds.
But look at you now. I mean, like, one should actually go and log into your website to see what all things we are talking about over here. But if you can summarize in 3 points that, okay, 2014 I joined, and these are the 3 things I immediately need to change or immediately need to bring in these things, what were those?
When I went into joining my parent actual company, which was into manufacturing of diamonds, the thing that what I really found was that technology was there, but it could have been made more better. We didn't have any form of marketing. We didn't have any form of branding. People knew us as more of wholesalers than the manufacturers. And what really we wanted to showcase the world in respect to actually what we want to them to realize who we are and what direction the family wanted us to be at. So that was not there. The concept of selling diamonds off a website was unheard of, or was very at the nascent stage in the industry. So these were factors that really excited me with a little challenge. And it told me that, there is something value addition you can bring in, though you may not have that experience of people sitting in your company for last 25 or 30 years. So, I wanted to pick up that side of the business, which was not there, and make it more relevant. And somehow we did that.
I did really well. Having said that, Nilesh, tell us about when you traveled for business to African countries and to Middle East for that matter, and then US also. What opportunities you saw during those days? I'm talking about like 10 years from now.
So, Krishna, when I actually joined the company, I wanted to make a few foundations strong. So the foundations were in place in terms of how I like my sales team to be, how technology is something which was most important for us. So get the technology, the systems and processes in place, and then create the branding and the marketing to connect with both of them. And once I connected all of these things, and the foundation was strong enough that now is the time that I think I can grow this company and scale it. That's when I was ready to say that it's just not being, you can be the boss in your company and sit in the cabin and say, delegate things to be done. But I rather wanted to actually, make myself uncomfortable, because when you're actually uncomfortable, is that where you create and break barriers. So that's when I realized that it's time for me to step it up and get out of my comfort zone and take the next flight and fly around the world and identify markets, understand clients. And that can only happen once you have a one-on-one interaction. And that's what is the most important aspect that I have taken into my side, is because I took that uncomfortable step. Now I understand the industry much more better. I understand my clients better. I have a personal relationship with each and every client of mine. I understand their business so that I could come back home and find a solution for them. And that really helped our relationship build and further also our business.
And one business tip.
See, the world is very real, and being real and being truthful has always helped, I can say, about myself. I have realized that everyone wants to do business, especially in this juncture of the life that we're living in. People want transparent, people want clear, ethical, straightforward business. The hanky-panky side of the business is something what people don't like. And when you are truthful to them and you're real to them, they feel the same feeling to you. And once that happens, the bond is created. And in our business, trust is a big factor. And that's what I think is the most essential thing that I would recommend people.
That's awesome. Nilesh, now I would like to know about there are some really highlighted points of your company. So you not only manufacture diamonds, you gave them a special cut, and your company is known for that. So it's, despite being an extra effort, is it beneficial as well to you guys?
Yeah, I believe that is what really made us stand out. Our cuts has done the justice for the name Finestar. So we are specialized in fancy cut diamonds, and the reason why we picked up fancy cuts is obviously we realized that we used to got to get a lot of, we believe feedback is the right way to move on. So when we have a lot of interaction with our clients, and that's when you interact a lot with them, they tell you stuff that they want for themselves. So we got to know, for example, let me combine it with my tech and my interaction. So we have an e-commerce portal, and we study people's user behavior in terms of what they watch, what they click, what they move, how they move the cursors. So while doing so, we studied that our regular cushions were the stones and shape which was not typically watched a lot or bought by a lot of clients. And then we started, after realizing that this stone or this shape was not moving that well, I went ahead and spoke to a bunch of clients and asked them, what's really making you not buy this? What can I do to make myself better? Their answer was very simple, that it's too squarish, and nowadays the market doesn't really enjoy it. I said, then what people do enjoy then? He says that, there is, elongating the cushion would help you a little. And then in our website, we have this concept of, we have a feedback button where people are allowed to just click on it and give any form of feedback. And that feedback goes to the factory and the planning team without letting them know which client did that. So it becomes a very neutral feedback from our end. So getting to that story, when I started looking at these elongated cushions, I saw a few of the people in the American clientele, they're putting up some videos of how it looks like on Pinterest, something on YouTube, and a little bit of social media, a little research that you'll end up doing. We understood that this is something which people start appreciating. Then we rate the ratio, which is your 1:1 ratio of a cushion. We raised it 1.18 to 1.2. And then we started making that, and then we started seeing some traction. Then that traction, we realized that now the main thing that we have to do is we have to make the diamond shine a little more better from A company to the B company. So for that, what we did is, like, you understand how asset scope functions. The asset scope function is basically showcasing light leakage. From that, we created a software internally, which we have created that if the light reflection is not at 70 to 80%, we would not go ahead from that stone. So we created a lock in the factory where any cushion or any stone that is manufactured doesn't assure us that 80%, because light reflection is one part, and second is your fire. That is your fire and luster. So for the fire and luster is typically the light thrown to the diamond, which gives you the rainbow spectrum. And that rainbow spectrum is what we realize will create the diamond to shine much better. That combines with ratio, with different kind of angles to the faceting. So we started playing around with a bunch of models. So we started creating cushion elongated models. We created about 15 odd models. And out of the 15 odd models, the best refraction that we got and the luster we got was for 4 models. So for that optimal level, we landed up manufacturing 4 different kind of faceting with
That's
different
awesome.
Ratios. Mm-hmm. And we put it up on our website. And we have a section called the new arrival, where people come and buy on the day one. And I put it up there. Once we put it up there, we saw people coming and bidding for the stones. And we found that the Model C turned out to have people having multiple clients coming for that same stone and bidding a higher premium for that one specific stone. So we took that analysis and we went back and we said, C model, it is. We had the kind of a poll between A, B, C, D, where C did fantastic and B was the number 2. So we said we won't shut all of them. Yeah. We went to manufacture more of the C's, less of the B's, and less of the A's. And then once we did that got us more traction.
What percentage of hike in sales we're talking about? And how much time it took for you to observe that change?
We understand of, say, let's assume we make 100 elongated cushions in a matter of a given week. And we have got a conversion rate of 55% on first day.
That's huge.
With a premium, in some cases, more than 10 to 15%.
That's huge. That's
so,
huge.
So that means I had to question my pricing team with the pricing to be a little more stronger in that case. So that's how we use technology, we use data analytics, and based of these combinations, and obviously personal touch with customers. And when they give you the feedback like, oh my God, that's a brilliant stone, that feeling, is amazing.
But that's a wholesome outcome of so many parameters, so many studies, so many conversations, and I would say some real fine details. And so this is not just one finesse of your business. I would like to pick up amazing work you guys are doing in Namibia. And in your production house, I think it's majority of Namibian women rolling like no tomorrow. And tell us more about that.
Krishna, what we realized is that when we started, we went to Botswana, Namibia in the initial years. And when we believe that today, to run a factory there, we would prefer to have the actual Namibians or the Botswanian locals to come and get hired, because the idea is to transfer of skill sets. When we go there, we believe in empowerment of people and the growth of that local community that we want to create. And when we went there, obviously we put up for hiring, and the number of people that came in, somehow just the number of people came in were more women than men. And they were very passionate, and they were really ready to work hard. And for them, going back and giving back to their family and taking care of the family is the most strongest aspect. I'm not trying to say that men are not, but somehow in Botswana and Namibia, we just had a great turnaround of women. And I feel the passion becomes much more stronger if you're a single mother or something. And we saw them come by. I'll have to tell you about one story about one of our Namibian person who works for us. Her name is Oje. She came in, just said that, just give me some kind of job. I will take up anything. And at that time, we had a job of a janitor. And I said, and my factory manager said that that's all I have. And she's like, I'm ready to take it up. And she actually took it up to a point that she would come back again to the manager every time and say, what else can I do? What else can I do? So, small story short, what we did was we gave her the opportunity to learn, because someone who's so passionate will do fantastic job when it required to be done. And my factory manager, what he did? We had some expats from India who had come down and who were ready to train them. So we just put her in with him, and he trained her. And today, probably after one year, she is managing and polishing diamonds and mapping our stones.
That's awesome.
So she has actually changed from being a janitor to actually now mapping my diamonds in my factory. So it's and the confidence these women create is exuberant. And it feels emotionally connected to them that they're doing a fantastic job. So looking at all these aspects, what we did, and we all of a sudden saw so many women working for us. I felt like this is women empowerment at its best.
I think more than just said.
It was beyond that. It was beyond that. But I just wanted, when we travel to all the markets that we are in, whether it's in America, whether it's in the European countries, half the people don't know where the diamonds come from. they all just know about the diamonds. They know about De Beers and Rio Tinto, the mining companies, but they don't know where the rough diamond actually comes from and which country it does. And I feel that, the Botswana government and Namibia government had to be actually put on the world map in a fashion that everyone knows the good things that are being done there and how lives are being changed. And for that we created what we did was that now from the start of how we did was we actually put up a small kind of a unit of training where we spend across experts who would train a batch of 10, 15, 20 people in our factory and in different departments. And based on that, combined with the technology and the data that we had, all of that information helped their skill set gather a little much faster than the others for them to now be able to do exactly that kind of work that has been done in our Surat factory. The people who have been for 20 years, 15 years, and it's actually a business of, if you're a polisher, your son becomes a polisher. If you can achieve that standard of manufacturing in a country in a matter of a few years is amazing. And that story, I feel, is something which we needed to let the world know about it.
And that's really, really beautiful story. And I was talking to someone other day about how negatively people talk about that diamond site holders or whoever is involved in mining is really just talking about sustainability. They relocate the tribe, they just leave the land empty. But it's actually not true. What the gentleman literally told me, and I was in shock, that around 70% of the wealth of that mining extraction stays in that country, that goes into welfare, that makes that area richer, and it helps the community to grow as well. These kind of stories are actually not seeing more light.
So De Beers is been doing some fantastic job. De Beers actually during COVID assured the whole of Botswana's major population to be vaccinated. There are schools being created there. There are health programs created there. All the money that the Botswana government or Namibia government gets out of diamonds is going in all possible best places when it comes, especially for setting up universities, creating sustainable factory setups. Even the mining is being done in a very ethical manner, and they have audits on top of them. So it's been done in the best possible fashion. It's just that it's not spoken about, and nobody really pushes that narrative, which is why we created our Artisan Initiative. So the Artisan Initiative, Krishna, is basically a kind of a small kind of a card that we give across along with our stones that we sell. So in that card is actually the picture of the person who's actually polished or cut your diamond.
What are you saying?
Yes.
This is so cool.
Every employee or every local Namibian, Botswanian, South African, we have each and everyone's picture. And along with the picture, there's a small synopsis about how, by her working in this factory, what is the benefit that she's achieving and how she can manage her family, and how can she's very happy with the fact that you're buying the diamond, and hope we keep doing that all the time. So there's a small synopsis followed by written with where the manufactured in Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, and where the rough comes from, and along with the GI number. So each certificate is unique to each. And I have had stories of it getting so viral in the American market that I have social media influencers in Mexico, in America, in London, who've actually taken the actual stories and taken it up there. It's been something which has really worked very well for us, because imagine if you are a woman of the age of, say, 28 getting engaged. Fine, all diamonds are the diamonds. But if you get that certificate, with that little emotional connect of actually knowing of the person who's cut, and the money that you've invested, is going in the right hands, you feel that you're doing the right thing for the society. And that gets, goosebumps and an emotional connect to what is in your finger whenever you see it.
That's very mindful. That's very thoughtful, you as a company. How else you're contributing to sustainability, Nilesh?
So Krishna, for us, as I told you, one of our core values is sustainability at its peak. So, and that being said, we wanted to make sure that we did things in a sustainable manner, and that's where we connected ourselves to the UN sustainability goals. The UN sustainability goals comes with a list of few things. Obviously, we cannot achieve all of them, but we want to understand the factors which we can do. And from there, we started with a few things. One, we made sure that we have a factory in Surat, which is made in the form of regular factories, like how Tesla or Toyota have their factory, which is a flat factory instead of it being a vertical factory. Why? Because when you are doing the manufacturing process, each stage is connected with each other, so it creates optimal efficiency of not the diamonds getting lost, plus very easy to trace, third, very transparent, and it happens and the time taken to manufacture gets reduced. So that's being said about the efficiency part of it, the most important part was to get the diamonds from direct miners. So you are ethically getting the diamonds, and it is for every diamond that we manufacture, as we buy only direct from miners, I have country of origin of each and every stone. So making sure complete transparency on that factor. That's one part of sustainability. Second important aspect was, because we had a factory which was completely horizontal, we had a great sized rooftop. So Krishna, you won't believe this, but my factory in Surat is almost 100% manufactured by renewable solar energy.
No electricity?
No natural source of energy. This is purely through solar renewable energy.
Wow.
The reason being is because the rooftop is with 1.2 megawatt plant, which is good enough for the requirement of my factory running. That not being said, that's one part of it. The second part of it, we have Finestar owns 6 windmills, and these 6 windmills, out of which 4 in Madhya Pradesh and 2 in Kerala, give 1.5 megawatt energy to the national grid straight up. So not just that how much I need for my factory, but more and beyond for the national grid is what we supply when it comes to renewable source of energy. If I talk about not just that factor, there are other factors also that we're doing that is completely different. We are doing rainwater harvesting. We are doing grey factory wastage. We have organic farming that has been utilized for feeding our lunch to all our employees. We have EV charging stations for the employees who have their cars. We have a BMS for energy conservation, so a software which makes sure the energy conservation is managed. We have production wastage recycle. All of this has made us get the USGBC certificate lead. In fact, in March 2023, in Sustainable Awards in India, my factory got an award for one of the most sustainable factories in India.
Very well deserving. I mean, why not? And I'm like, as you're speaking, I'm thinking, why others are not even doing this? I mean, is it too hard to implement? Just for my, out of curiosity.
See, when you look at factories to be doing this, the thought is what is important. That you want to take that step because initially it's an investment.
Right.
So do we want to take that step on that investment, which further in the future will help you? Mm-hmm. Is a call that has to be taken by other companies.
And what is your bucket list? You have already achieved so much, Nilesh, when the company is like really at a beautiful size and your client know by your work. That's a highest achievement I personally feel. What do you think? Still, there are some areas that you need to work upon.
See, we have, as I told you initially, about the different core values. So, technology and traceability is what we are in terms of pioneered to what we want to. But there is so much space left for us to do. We are a part of a blockchain platform called Tracer. We are giving traceability certificates for origin for every stone. Along with that, I feel in the coming future we will have enough technology for diamonds to be cut by themselves. There is a point where we want to utilize in terms of our e-commerce portal, which has still more space in terms of AI that we have embraced at the best of its fashion. My company uses AI in every aspect, whether it is procurement of rough, manufacturing, and sales. We use AI and data analytics to understand what rough and why we should buy, so that we understand that part of it, while manufacturing what the best for creating the best yield of cuts of the diamonds that we spoke about earlier. That, and from a sales point of view, to understand the polished sales is the pricing to be done is based out of the different data points that we've captured from the past history, from the fact that market trends, what's happening in the industry. We take all these different data points and capture them and create a different form of an algorithm. And that algorithm gives me an actual price, which is making us price without human involvement.
And how would you implement blockchain with diamonds?
So the tag, as I was suggesting about the factory that we have, because the factory is made in different stages, and there's a motherboard in center. So at every point, we capture data of once the process is done, that stage, and it gets captured with videos and data points. And when you do all of this, you literally have a clean, transparent section. For me to upload it digitally is blockchain in simple language. So it became very easy for us to be a part of all different blockchain platforms which are available in the market, like Tracer and many other Tracer platforms that are there. The most cool thing, I have this AI tool which actually you can go on an e-commerce website which is connected to AI. So that being said, that's one part of it. Second most important aspect, also just not knowing what you're missing out, is how to improvise what you have. So if there is, as we spoke, that if there is the cut that has been doing well, we kept manufacturing more of it. Third, now if you are being a regular customer of mine, you keep buying the same buying pattern for the last 3 years. Your habit is also to click on those things only. And I capture that information. And based on that information, I personalize, recommend you what's getting manufactured of your taste the minute you come on my website. So once you have that, you don't need to run through my whole website to identify. So AI has taken for us at a better way, but I feel there's too much left for us to do. And there is so much that you can do in AI, not just in manufacturing and diamonds, but in jewelry, and in other aspects of other businesses, which is really cool. Like imagine augmented reality we fit onto your jewelry in your necklace.
This is more than cool.
That is the most coolest thing. You can actually design your jewelry saying, I need a pendant. Pendant rose, which looks like a flower based, flower based as flower being a theme, pendant being the ring, the product. I need rose gold, I need 18 KT, I need rubies in it, along with diamonds. And you press all these keywords, boom, the design is done. And after 10 days, the pendant can be in your house.
That would be awesome.
So cool stuff is coming on the way. It's a lot of things that we're very excited of the future in terms of the gem and jewelry.
Jewellery Pod is all about unlearning and adapting. And I don't think so this podcast is ending anytime sooner. We do have to catch up very soon again with all the insights you have. It was really awesome to have you on podcast. Thank you, Nilesh, for your time. And how would you like to conclude this in one line?
I would like to take your quote of saying it's about unlearning and adapting. And I think that's what the world needs to do. We all need to unlearn from what we know of and try to be a little more adaptive with the new changes that the world is coming. We should not fear it. We should actually adapt it and embrace it and move forward for the betterment.
Yes to change.
Yes to change.
Thank you, Nilesh.
My pleasure.
You've been awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sticking around with us for this podcast. I do hope you enjoyed it. Do leave your feedback in the comments. Share what you feel. Also, do not forget to subscribe us and follow through other channels. Thank you so much. Till we meet again.